Bizarre Brain Comics. Okie doke. There we go. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome once again to Bizarre Brain Comics. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Forgot to leave the cap off. Sorry if excuse my voice if I sound a bit stuffed up. I had a bad sneezing fit just before I started shooting, so I'm still congested from that. It hasn't cleared. And this time, I thought I would share with you a stack of comics. I've done some from various publishers or different characters and stuff before. This time, a stack of comics from Archie Comics. I was going to do a baker's dozen, and then when I was counting them, earlier I must have miscounted because instead of a baker's dozen, I've got an even dozen. And I don't feel like going back out to the garage to dig them up. So, dig up another one. So, and these are some older ones. And they gradually get a little newer. Here is... We start off with Archie's Madhouse, number 38 from 1965. And you might notice it says aliens. We found that Earthmen who wore these Beatles wigs had special powers over teenage girls. So it's just silly little things, not the regular Archie characters. This is before the title was taken over by the Madhouse Glads, which was a rock band, poor man's Archies, and of course there's no creator credits, but this is some silly stuff. It's mostly at this time it's mostly seems to be Captain Sprocket and similar superhero parody stuff, because I guess maybe because the superheroes were so big right then, and this was just before Batman 66 came on the scene, and but some fun stuff. But if you remember, I showed you once before, I had I think it's Madhouse 22 from, what was it, 61? That maybe it was 63. I can't remember. Must have been 63. Which introduced Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and she was featured in several issues over the years before she got her own title. And initially, Madhouse was, and still is to somewhat at this point, a kind of like an Archie's toned down version of EC's Mad when it was a comic. Because they often have silly stuff about monsters and horror characters, science fiction, aliens, and of course then the superhero type parodies, and just good fun. And you can that is even reflected here in the if you notice in the border marginals type stuff, similar to what Mad had done early on. I think it would have been great if they could have gotten some Basil Wolverton stuff in there, but they're a little too more tame for that. Here is Madhouse number 41 from the same year, a little farther in the same year. Same kind of stuff. Of course, this has got Captain Sprocket right there on the cover. And in more recent years, with some of their last couple decades or so. Some of the Madhouse characters have popped up again in some other Archie stories. Super Blooper! And of course, a lot of these Madhouse stories have been reprinted various times in the digest-sized comics. Now, on this issue, I want to show you here, on the back cover, ad for Betty and Veronica. But this is a really nice illustration here in this ad. And that's one that I think would make some of the collectors really like had it been on the cover, front cover, maybe so on the back, just because it's such a nice bikini cover. But it looks like Harry Lucy. I can't be positive on that, but it sure does look like a Harry Lucy drawing, and it's really nice. Really nice. And I like Harry Lucy. Then we go to, this is, what's 67? Yeah, 1967. And it doesn't give, yeah, it is. Jughead, number 141. And of course, everybody loves Jughead. And Jughead's put in a pole so he can slide down the pole from his bedroom to the front door on his way to school. It's an idea I got from TV's Cape Crusaders for getting to school on time. And just regular ads. Regular Archie Jughead stuff. 1967. Can't... A word to the wise. And yep, Jughead is one of my favorites right there. And then we go to, this is issue number 31 of Josie. This is also from 67, I think. This is really rough. I had to tape the cover back on. I had to tape that Jughead cover back on too. They're just so worn. Yeah, 67. So, but notice this is Josie before the Pussycats. Well, it was just Josie and with her friends and stuff. One of the interesting things in this one is it's of course it's Josie's story, and Alexander Cabot III has decided he's going to open a nightclub, and Josie's with him there, and they just, but it's this is in the 60s, a nightclub, and they're going to have go-go girls, so they're going to hire this one story covers the entire issue, which is unusual. Going to get Melody, remember Dopey Melody, who has an outstanding figure but no brains. She, of course, later the drummer from the Pussycats. And they're going to get her to be a go-go dancer. So they're trying out, and she's putting on her little skimpy little bikini for her go-go outfit. And then the whole thing is, then guys start chasing her all over town. The whole story is, there it is, guys chasing Melody. And who is this? Dan DeCarlo, I think, did the artwork. Yeah, it looks like Dan DeCarlo artwork. I can't be positive, but I think that's Dan DeCarlo. But that's that whole. Just looking through that's funny. Then we have, this is from earlier. Yes, 65, number 35, Life with Archie. And of course, this time Life with Archie stuff was often had a little bit more adventure to them. And of course, this has got, see the giant feet, and it's got some things about a UFO coming down, and it's got some kind of alien giant, but it turns out to be a big balloon. And then there's the aliens. There's the aliens. And then Archie and Jughead get shrunk down, and they're running around trying to keep away from the frogs and stuff. And then it has another little story. more conventional Archie type story. All good fun. And that was 35. That's a great cover. I love that cover. And then we go Life with Archie number 185 from 1977. And again, it has some more adventure stuff in it. This is Archie and the gang from the 24th century, and getting lost and traveling through time. Oh, come on, Jinx. And so they have future guys, and they see them with. See, here's their splash page. Characters from various time periods, and then it has another slightly more serious adventure story, which they're known for, and which I liked. I like these a lot. Is Smuggler's Cave, Archie, Jughead, and Betty, and there are no credits on this one, but just based on the way the inking, especially how a little extra nice Betty looks, I want to. I think it may have been Al Hartley. I didn't know how Al Hartley was still drawing for Archie at this time. I thought all of his stuff was with Aspire Comics, but I can't be sure. But it sure makes me think of Al Hartley. Could also just have been the inks. And I like I always like Al Hartley's artwork. And just in case it was. And then here we have Betty and Me number 5, 12 center from 66, and with Betty as Super Teen on the cover. And of course, the Super Teens, Archie is Pure Heart to Powerful, and Captain Hero, and Betty is Super Teen. I liked this Super Teen outfit better than what they gave her later. Was their response to the popularity of the superheroes, spurred by Batman 66. That's fun. And he really put the time is on the inside cover is the ad for Man from U.N.C.L.E. poster of David McCallum as Ilya Kuryakin. And we just a few months ago we lost he's in his 80s, lost David McCallum. And I always liked Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I loved him as Ducky on NCIS. And just Betty and Me, regular stuff, but then it had where was it? Here we go. Here's this, that's a pinup. And here we go, the Super Teen Adventure. And of course, she always became Super Teen when Archie was being menaced. And of course, Archie became Pure Heart to Powerful when Veronica was menaced. And then whenever Archie, as Pure Heart, was going to do something good, Reggie would become Evil Heart and try to get in his way. And this is one time when they actually made Pure Heart look big and real buff instead of giving him the regular Archie proportions. And then just some regular Betty and Veronica fare after that. And then we go to, this was from 2002. That's a big jump, is Sabrina, number 30. Now, Sabrina had gained popularity again in the late 90s with the Melissa Joan Hart sitcom TV show. And they had Sabrina for quite a while, had been similar to doing regular Sabrina stories, but a little closer to the sitcom. And then they also started about 2002 or 2001. A new animated Sabrina show, which I still have never seen, putting Sabrina in her about her tweens, and then she took over the book. I think I've got the book in which they actually made the transition, because it started with Melissa Joan Hart's, I think, a photo cover, and the regular Sabrina the Teenage Witch stories, and then right in the middle of a story, it changed to this version of Sabrina, and then it was that for a couple of years, and I wasn't as thrilled with this though. But this one looks interesting because it involves the Archie character from Red Circle, the Crusaders, the Jaguar character. Still, but carrying him through, doing him in the same stylization, consistent with the animated show stylization. And still with 2002, we have Archie's Weird Mysteries. I liked, which is again based on an animated show. I liked that a lot. I have a few issues of this, and then I have one large trade paperback reprinting many of the comics, weird mysteries stories, and I really like this a lot. And they were, I think all that I've seen, most of them at the very least, were written and drawn by Fernando Ruiz. And remember, Fernando Ruiz also has a YouTube channel, so give him a check. Check out his channel. It's mostly about his artwork, doing his drawing stuff. And his way of drawing the characters is just a little bit different than most of the others. And it's always involving. They're usually issue-long stories, but sometimes half and half like this. Weird Mysteries was right. It was weird stuff going on in Riverdale. Archie was doing a column in the school newspaper, and it was all about the weird stuff that he come across in Riverdale. This is something with Betty and some magical earrings, and she gets her wishes and causes problems. And then the second story is come on, is Archie, and then they get something like the monkey's paw, I don't know, and starts some other wishes happening, things going on, and Archie and the gang, they wind up with cavemen in prehistoric times being chased by a dinosaur. I'll show that. Yeah, there they are, being chased by a dinosaur. And I really liked these. That was what, 21? Yeah. And here we go, Archie's Weird Mysteries, number 24. Just a few issues later. This one's a cool one. It says, The Mystery of Lodge Manor. Ooh, looks like a haunted castle. We'd better beware, Jug. There's a monster lurking up there. Ooh. And, of course, Fernando Ruiz. Where's the... Yeah, and I think this is an issue-long story. And here we find out what that monster is. It's an ape running loose in the castle. Ah. But there's some bad guys, too. I think it makes me think of the murders in Rue Morgue. Okay. Then, this one is from 1996. It's Archie's Super Teens. Oh, so sounds like the missus has come home. Archie's Super Teens. And this is a 48-page special. And this is introducing Veronica and her superhero persona. And, of course, the first story is a new story. The Rearranger. And, what's his name? John Hebert did the art. Evan Skolnick wrote it. And it's done in a more contemporary superhero art style. And I don't know if he pronounces his name Hebert or Aber. I say it that way because when I was in the Navy, I had shipmates that were both Hebert and Aber, spelled exactly the same, pronounced differently. And then the rest of the issue is reprinting some of the super teen stuff from the 1960s. And then we're going to finish this up with this book. This book, which has no cover. So, and this is at the time when the indicia was on the inside of the cover. So I can't, you can smell old musty paper. But I have reason to believe that this is Wilbur. This is from Archie Wilbur from 1945. Wilbur number 5 from 1945. Now, Wilbur actually, he was also an Archie-like character published by Archie, and actually he debuted a few months before Archie did in 1941. But you can see the older style and stuff, and it really places it in the 40s. But the reason that I think this is issue number 5 is because this is the first appearance of Keane. And Keane made her introduction in Wilbur number 5, 1945. And Keane, you know, she's a model and stuff. But this figure of her right here, if you can see that, is kind of unusual. I mean, it's a real nice drawing. And she's extra on the beach, a little extra short skirt, but her legs are so long it looks like she's got, that skirt is way too short, and she's got no undies on underneath. That's just the way it looks. It wasn't intended to, but that is the way it looks. And it's making time with the Sailor Boys. Okay, so that's what I've got for you this time with a handful of Archie comics. Some good Archie, wholesome Archie fun. Oh, I wanted to point out, they still have the comics code, and one of the others has a bigger, but the comics code stamp was getting so small. This is from 2002, but do you know when the comics code went away? January 2011 was the last time anybody used the comics code stamp, and the comics code authority went bye-bye. So that's all I've got for you this time. So please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you think of these old Archie comics. And remember, comics are art.